What is going on, guys, and welcome to your new home for all the latest Phillies news, rumors, and everything else that has to do with the team right here on Phillies Digest. I'm here with my guy, Luke Arcaini. I'm Sean Barnard, and today we're about to get into what I believe is the most exciting storyline surrounding this entire Phillies team, and that is the breakout of Christopher Sanchez. So, Luke, to jump right into it, what is your, expectation for Christopher Sanchez coming into the season, and just how far has he exceeded that bar there?
Yeah, this time last year, I don't know what I was expecting from him. He threw pretty well last year, right? He had some good starts here and there. Did I expect him to have the fourth best ERA in the entire National League through 100 innings? No, absolutely not. He's just been an absolute workhorse this year.
Yeah.
99 innings, an ERA under 3. He's looked comfortable out there. He's dominated hitters. He's been unbelievable at home. He has an ERA under 1.5 at home this year. He's been practically unhittable. He threw a complete game shutout the other night. Like he seriously looked like about a top 10 to 15 pitcher in all of baseball this year. So not something I expected coming into this season. No, not at all.
100%. And to kind of touch on what those stats are specifically here, and at the time of this recording, Sanchez is currently pitching, so we apologize on no updates there. But leading into that game, he's pitched 17 games this season with a 60% win-loss percentage, 97.1 innings pitched, just 2 home runs allowed, 82 strikeouts compared to 94 hits allowed. Ridiculous stuff there. 2.96 ERA, 1.243 whip. Just ridiculous stuff from a guy that we could not have expected. Like, there was a time where there was a question of, is Christopher Sanchez even good enough to be in the starting rotation, let alone is he making his own case for being in the All-Star game, which of course did not fully come together, unfortunately, there. But that doesn't just stop. A couple more stats that I did want to spit at everybody. Among qualified NL starters, Christopher Sanchez is second in FIP at 2.58 and fourth in WAR at 2.9. If he was on any other team, he absolutely would have been in the All-Star. So, Luke, what do you think about all that?
Yeah, unfortunately, he just kind of got the bad end of the stick there, right?
Yeah.
I don't. It's hard to take Zack Wheeler out of the All Star game, and it's impossible to take Ranger Suarez out of the All Star game after this year, right?
Yeah.
Granted, I think Sanchez will find himself there. I think there's going to be some injuries, some guys that don't go because they're going to be not really used in that game. Like Zack Wheeler's supposed to pitch 2 days before. He probably won't pitch. Obviously, after this little back injury as well, he's definitely, at least hopefully, not going to pitch in the All-Star game. And there is a few other guys that are going to go either Saturday or Sunday before the game, so they probably won't pitch as well. So there's a pretty good chance that Sanchez will find his way there as a reserve. He's completely deserved it, right? He has just dominated this season really on just 3 pitches, right? Mm-hmm. He throws 3 pitches. He rarely throws a fastball. He throws that sinker almost half the time. 47% of the time he's throwing that sinker. Change up around 33% and around 18% on the slider, right? He is one of the rare pitchers now that you don't get many fastballs out of. Mm-hmm. Really ever. I don't think he's thrown one all season, right? He always has some bit of movement on his pitches, which makes him so dominant. That's what's been, right? He's dropped the exit velocity down this year. He's dropped everything. The expected batting average is going way down. His strikeout percentage is way up from 2022. His walk percentage is down, right? Everything is down, right? Everything is better than it was. And it's shown on the field, right? He, especially at home, he's honest to God, Christopher Sanchez at home looks like one of the, if not the best pitchers in baseball.
Yeah.
Not something I would have ever thought I'd be saying. But he's just fully developed into a guy that, I finally watched the Phillies develop a pitcher. And even though they didn't actually draft him, they did acquire him from the Tampa Bay Rays. They finally gave a guy time and let him develop, and it's been an absolute success for them. It's been from top to bottom, and now he obviously just got the new contract. He's going to be here until about 2030. So I don't think Sanchez is going anywhere anytime soon. He's going to be in this rotation for a long, long time.
Yeah, 100%. And to give the full love to the trade here, we're talking about the Rays trading Christopher Sanchez and Jose Alvarado in exchange for Garrett Cleavinger and Curtis Mead. So little hat tip and take a victory lap. Dave Dombrowski there. Impressive stuff for two guys that are huge impact players on this Phillies team. Now, you mentioned all the All-Stars, and I did want to give the proper love. We do have a separate video out breaking that down, but the whole team is Alec Boehm, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Zack Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, Matt Strahm, and Jeff Hoffman as of now representing this Phillies team on All-Star Weekend. There's a lot of comparisons to Ranger of Christopher Sanchez that I feel. And to give Ranger his love, he's excellent as well. We're talking about 18 games with a .769 win-loss percentage, 108 innings pitched, 9 home runs allowed, 106 strikeouts, which is impressive there, to only 87 hits allowed. His ERA of 2.58 and whip of 1.019 is all ridiculous. We know how impactful he's been in the playoffs, but when comparing Christopher Sanchez to Ranger Suarez, the difference to me is Ranger obviously knows how to pitch. He knows how to get out of jams. He has this feeling. You have this comfortability with him on the mound. With Christopher Sanchez, I feel like the stuff is just straight up nastier. The way that it moves, the way that it's like he's almost in more of attack mode than Ranger, where Ranger's always like cool, calm, and collected. So talk to me about kind of his approach on the mound, because to me it feels like he's always ready to go after hitters in a way that I really respect.
Yeah, so Sanchez is just like he is the pitcher's pitcher. He just kind of goes out there and just it's not gas. Like he and he will gas one by you at times. The other night I think he touched 98 with his sinker. But he's not the guy that's going to be out there going 99, 100 right at your head. He's gonna hit you low down at the knees, right? He's going to get you down. The off speed is usually always in the dirt with Sanchez, right? He's going to find it low. He doesn't hang much. It's always down. I mean, runners in scoring position this year, hitters have a 564 OPS against him. Like he's been unbelievable getting out of jams, like you said. I think he's just been one of the guys that I honestly feel the most confident in right now in this staff. Anytime he goes out there, I feel like even when he gets in a jam, I feel like he's always going to get out of it. And that's something you can't say about all pitchers. There's a lot of guys that get worse once the runners are on. And for Sanchez, that hasn't been the case. He's actually been better. The opponent's OPS is 100 points higher with nobody on base than it is runners on. So when the runners get on, Sanchez is at his best. And that is so big for a guy who, one, is your fourth starter, I mean, in quotes at this point. Like, the fact that he is a number 4 with an ERA under 3 is just absolutely absurd. But just an unbelievable arm this year. Just doing everything that really I never expected him to do. Like, I didn't expect Christopher Sanchez to get a 4-year extension from the Phillies and be here until 2030. Like, yeah. I've always liked Sanchez. I always thought he was a good pitcher, and I knew there was potential. But I didn't have this, man. This was not on my bingo card for this year. I would tell you that straight up.
Yeah, 100%. And as I mentioned, I do think this has been the biggest storyline surrounding this Phillies team. And Luke, I know I'm throwing you on the spot and hitting you with this out of nowhere, but say the playoffs start tomorrow, man. How are you pitching with this staff? What's your lineup? What's your tactics? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's tough. Zack Wheeler goes game 1.
Sure.
That's no ifs, ands, or buts, right? I love Ranger. I love Nola. I love Sanchez. But Zack Wheeler is the ace of this team. Zack Wheeler goes 1. Oh, man. It's hard, man.
It's a good problem to have.
It depends for me. It depends if they're on the road, if they're at home. If they're at home, it would probably be Aaron Nola. But if they did start off on the road, I don't think they're going to be at this rate. But if they were, it would maybe be Ranger in game 2. But I just don't see, and I get it, Sanchez has been awesome. But at this time, like I don't see them starting him over a Nola in the playoffs right now. I don't see them starting him over a Ranger or a Wheeler. He would be absolutely your game 4 starter in a 7-game series, and even maybe in a 5-game series, maybe he would go out there for game 4. But right now, I mean, he's still definitely your 4th starter in your rotation. But That's a really, really, really good problem to have. And the fact that if a game 7 rolled around and Zack Wheeler started it and you were able to bring Ranger Suarez and Christopher Sanchez out of the bullpen for a night, I mean, that's really good. There's not many squads in baseball right now that are going to beat those 3 pitchers in one game.
Yeah.
So I think the Phillies are in really good shape right now for the playoffs.
Yeah, 100%. And we still got plenty of time to break down until it is that point. But we want to hear from you guys in the comments. What would be your take? How are you pitching this Phillies team if the playoffs started tomorrow? Drop those comments below. Also, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button if you have not already and dropping a like on this video here. Me and Luke will be back with you next time right here on Phillies Digest. There is plenty of excitement ahead for this Phillies team. Peace.